Hi guys. All right, so let's talk. You know enough about me. If you've watched the other two videos, you kind of got the gist, right? But now let's talk about you. Let's talk about what you want. And if you're watching this, I think you want to lose weight. I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to take a stab in the dark, a shot in the dark. But let's get down to the nitty gritty of what is it going to take. I know everybody's like, just tell me how you did it. Tell me how you did it. And I kind of did in my other video. So, that really broke down my process. But what it didn't break down and what it couldn't break down, because there just wasn't enough time, is all of the things I went through from a mental perspective to keep myself on track throughout the entire thing. When I was tempted, when I wasn't self-aware, knowing that, okay, there are triggers hitting me. So what did that beginning process look like for me? Because there were phases through this journey. And I want to help you systematically go through those phases, because I'll be perfectly honest with you. Nobody had taught me these things that I ended up innately figuring out for myself. And thank God I did. Honestly. Thank God. I do believe God was orchestrating this, that I was being guided through this journey. And I believe I was being guided through this journey so I could do exactly what I'm doing right now. And that is help be a guide for you. So I want to be the conduit for you between what I've learned and what you need as you go on your journey. So here's something I firmly believe. Let's get this out there right away. You already know how to lose weight. I did. I already knew. I knew how to lose weight. What I didn't know how to do was how to lose weight for good. And I didn't know how to consistently stay the course throughout the journey of losing weight. So those are the things I really want to work with you on. Now, will I give you tips and tricks on how to lose weight? Absolutely. 100%. I am here for that. And I hope you are too. So today is going to be the start of that. So what I had to do was decide, okay, I couldn't do it all at once. That's just overwhelming. It was too big of a mission. It's kind of like when you're skiing. I use this analogy. If you've ever been skiing, or maybe you're a runner or were a runner at some point in your life, but think about something that's been really hard for you, but you've conquered it. And for me, skiing was one of those things. I mean, I grew up in Florida. Skiing does not come naturally, right? So for me, it was using the analogy of how I learned to ski. I would get up at the top of this mountain, and let's be real, it wasn't a mountain. I was skiing in Michigan. It was a hill at best, but it was tall and it was intimidating. And I would get at the top of these like giant mountain-esque hills, and it would be the green trail. And I would look down and be like, I'm gonna die. There is no way I'm going from here to there without dying. And so what I learned when I took ski lessons is you don't look, and my father-in-law told me this too, you don't look at the bottom of the path and where you have to get to. What you do is you shift your gaze and you say, can I get over there? And you turn your skis and you go that way. And then you go, okay, now can I get over there? And you turn your skis and you go that way. And all the way down the mountain, you are just looking at that next little place and going, can I get there? Can I just get there? And if I can just get there, I bet I can just get there. And before you know it, you're at the bottom of the mountain. Now, is that not to say you're not going to maybe slip on a patch of ice, get caught up on a little clump of snow and fall? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It doesn't mean you might not, in a moment of getting in your own head, get wobbly and fall, or hear a noise behind you because somebody's coming up alongside you and they scare you, and so then you fall. No. But what it does do is make that mountain or that hill so much more manageable. And that's how you learn. Just one little section at a time. And so that is the approach we're going to take to this. It's the approach I took to my weight loss journey, and it's the approach I'm going to take in guiding you on what worked for me in my weight loss journey. As with anything, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But when you are leaving what doesn't, before you abandon it altogether, just ask yourself, am I abandoning this because I know it won't work for me because I've tried it before and there's a better way for me? There's another way that will work. Or are you abandoning it because it makes you uncomfortable? So here's the first thing I'm going to teach you that I didn't know at the beginning, but I wish I would have, is when you're asking yourself those kind of questions, am I not absorbing, am I not absorbing it, but am I not accepting this as something I could do because I know it doesn't work for me and there's another way that's similar that does, so I'll take a slightly different approach? Or am I abandoning it because it makes me uncomfortable and I feel scared? I don't believe I can do it. And the way you're going to know is sit with it. So take a seat, take a few deep breaths. This doesn't have to take a long time. And close your eyes and ask yourself, where am I feeling this in my body? Where does the thought of this, where am I feeling that tightness? Where does the thought of this make me feel tight, make me feel constricted, make me feel like I want to go into a little ball inside of myself? Where am I feeling it? And if it's usually here or here, there's probably fear. There's probably conditioning. This is your mind controlling things. There's probably some conditioning going on there that's holding you back. If you're feeling it here, it's because it's not aligned with who you are. This is your heart. This is the seat of your soul. This is your inner knowing. This is what should be driving our bus the majority of the days. This is the vehicle who gets us there, but this should be our guiding light. And if you're feeling it here, then sit with that and go, okay, this doesn't feel like my truth. But what could? Where could something in this actually be something I could implement to shift a change for me? And really sit with that and kind of ask yourself the questions and find another way that's more aligned. So, it might not be that yoga works for you, right? When I'm talking about movement later, it might not be that yoga works for you. That might feel constrictive, like, oh, is she saying I have to go do yoga? I don't want to do yoga. I hate yoga. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is there something else that you do love? Is a spin class. I hate spin. If somebody told me the only way you are going to lose weight is to go do spin, I'd be like, I will be fat in my coffin the day I die. Like, I'm sorry. I hate spin. I hate running. I hate it. I hate it. My body hates it. The entire idea of it in my chest, even saying this, I'm like, no, don't make me do it. But yoga makes me feel expansive. It makes me feel like, yeah, but I didn't know that till I tried it. But the idea of trying it didn't feel that feeling to me. So I was like, okay, I can try this. That feels aligned as something I'm willing to try. So that's my example of that. So always trust what your body is trying to tell you as, I'm working on sharing my truth with you. But find something that does work. Okay, so there's that. Now, when I was looking at what am I going to do, I couldn't take all of it all at once. So I had to say to myself, you are always getting overwhelmed on your weight loss journey with the goals. God, I hate the goals. They're just like this noose around my neck. I hated having goals. I hated having accountability partners where we had to check in with each other and say every week where we were. That didn't work for me. That was just too much pressure. Every day that pressure on me made me want to rebel. I have a very rebellious spirit, it turns out. So if somebody puts a guideline around me, everything in me is just like, I'm not going to, we're going to break that. No. You're not going to tell me what to do, right? So I had to find a way to lose weight where it felt gentle, that it didn't feel like a job, like a to-do on a list that I had to check off. And if I didn't, I let myself down every day. I didn't want my head to hit the pillow every night going, okay, well, you failed again. You failed again. Because you might have drank more water, but did you walk 10,000 steps? Nope. See, fail, 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 fail. So I started small. I said, okay, what's one thing I can do? And I already shared that. That was my intermittent fasting, right? I said, I can do that. I feel like that I can do. And then I was like, once I got in the groove of that and I got really comfortable with that, I was like, okay, what's the next one thing that I can do? I've already started this one thing. Now what's the next one thing I could do? And that was soda. Actually, I'd already given up soda, but I'd given up soda, but I hadn't like shifted fully into water and just black coffee. So it was, I can give up other beverages. So I can give up alcohol. I can give up, I was doing like in my water, the powdery drinks that had like some calories attached to it. I can give up beverages with caloric intake, essentially. I can do that. I can do that. And every time I want one, I'll just drink more water. That's what I can do. I can drink a black coffee or two every morning, not afternoon, and I can do that. And so then I got, through that. And then it was, okay, what's another, like the next one thing I can do? So now I'm intermittent fasting, I'm drinking more water, I'm not drinking any beverages that have calories attached to them or are a soda, a diet soda, any chemicals. I'm drinking clean. Okay, so I did that. Now what's the next one thing that I can do? Okay, I can commit to going to bed at 10 o'clock at night. I can commit to that. That's the next one thing I can do. So you can see how it was building and building and building. And did I lay it out and go, these are the things? No, I just picked the thing that I thought I could stick to in that moment that felt aligned. And then once I built trust with myself, I then shifted to the next one thing. So it's not like I said, this week I am going to intermittent fast. And then next week I'm going to give up all beverages other than water and coffee. And then the next week I'm going to start going to bed at 10. No, I just got to a point that what I was doing became who I was. And once I felt really comfortable with that, I was ready for the next one thing. Now, did that create fast weight loss? Actually, it did, because I shifted my diet so dramatically. That intermittent fasting in and of itself was a big enough catalyst. But as time went on, it all leveled out, right? So I started out really strong, and then things started to slow. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be for sustainable weight loss. Because here's the next thing I'm going to tell you that was really important for me throughout this entire process, and it was my mindset right from the beginning, thank God. Every day I said to myself, I'd get on the scale. I'm a daily scale person. Everybody choose for yourself how you're going to do that. But I still am a daily scale person. And every day I would get on the scale, and some days I didn't lose weight. Some days I gained weight for no reason that made any sense to me. Some days I gained, some days I didn't lose. And on those days, and I knew I'd worked hard, I'd kept all my promises to myself, I would look at myself in the mirror and I would say, you're further ahead than you were. Because you've lost a pound, you've lost 2 pounds, you've lost 3 pounds. You might have gained a pound back, but you're further ahead than if you hadn't started at all. And even if you don't lose any weight, you aren't putting shitty chemicals into your body anymore, and you're getting better sleep. And your body feels stronger, and you're further along than you were the day before. So I didn't measure success on what the scale told me. I honestly didn't. I measured success on, am I further along than if I hadn't started anything at all? Because if I don't start now, a year from now, I have no results, not even a pound. But if I start now, even if a year from now, all I've lost is a pound, I'm a pound lighter than I was a year ago. And it's better than if I didn't start at all, right? So that was the mindset I had throughout the journey, is I am further along than if I would have given up or if I had never started, even if it's not on as fast timeline. So I let go of the need to control how quickly it happened for me. And I really think that's a really huge piece of the mindset shifts that need to take place if you are going to be on a sustainable weight loss journey for good. Because when you start to put all of these qualifications around how am I going to lose weight? When am I going to lose weight? My friend is losing weight with me. I need to keep pace or even better with her. And it becomes this like competition. And competition is healthy. But what it does is it's like that nervous system is jacked. It is jacked. You know, think about how you feel when you compete. Your adrenaline's rushing. We're not meant to sustain that for a long period of time. And so you give up. Your friend gets further along the journey than you, and you're like, forget it. I'm never going to beat her. I'm over it. Or I'm not moving as quickly as she is. So you start to secretly eat and you say you're not doing it, but you are. I mean, I've been there. I know. But these are the keys I want you to take away today. 1, find the way that losing weight works best for you. Maybe that's Weight Watchers. Maybe that's keto. Maybe that's intermittent fasting. Maybe that's starting with the weight loss medication. Maybe it's a high protein diet. Maybe it's a very clean diet. Maybe it's vegan. Maybe it does not matter. Find the way that works for you. And I suspect you already know what works for you. So do that. Do not go drastic in those efforts. Do not go from 3,000 calories a day to 1,000 because you're not going to have room to move when you need to restart that process when you're plateauing. If you're at 3,000 calories today and you reduce that by 500, you're going to lose weight. You are. You're going to lose weight. It is at the end of the day, calories in, calories out in the beginning. So just lower that caloric intake to what feels aligned to you and keep that promise to yourself. Next, one thing. Shift one daily habit a day. Add something in or remove something and add something in that is aligned with what feels healthy to you. So whatever that is, do that. Keep your promise. Building trust is so important as you go on the journey. You've got to build the trust early because you are going to get, as you go down, you're in the honeymoon period in the beginning. You know, you're losing weight, you're feeling good, you're like excited, you're going to do this thing. But 2.5 years is a long journey when it comes to weight loss, and you are going to need to know on those days that you lost control and you ate the thing, or you drank the thing, or you ate and drank the thing, and you sat. The next day, you are going to need to know, that's not who I am. That was who I was yesterday. I needed it. My body needed a break. I'm going to let myself off the hook. I'm going to forgive myself because I trust myself. That's not who I am. That's who I was. That's okay. Now, today, I'm right back on it because I know this is who I am now. I am someone who keeps their promises to themselves. I trust myself to just let that go. And we'll talk about how one bad day does not derail anything in a future video. So keep your promise to yourself. And then I forget the third thing that I just talked about. But do that. You know, you've got to keep it realistic. You've got to keep it realistic. You can't go all in all at once. You just can't. You can't do that. So you've got to get to a place that you are building trust, that you are making small changes over time, and that you are setting yourself up for success, that you are letting go of the outcomes. That's number 3, let go of the outcomes. Detach from the outcome. You've got to detach from the outcome. So 1, choose a plan that works. 2, small shifts. The one thing you can do until you get really good at that one thing, don't add in another. So the one thing you can do that you know you can build trust with yourself, set yourself up for success. Don't make it a hard thing in the beginning. Build to the hard things. I highly recommend reading Atomic Habits. Changed my life. Changed my life. Highly recommend. Or listen to him on podcast. Because that's how I found out about the book. And then I was like, oh, I'm all in reading this book. And it really did change my life. So, do that. And then detach from the outcome. Just know that this one small shift I'm making today, I'm further along than if I hadn't made a shift at all, regardless of what the scale is saying, because that scale will respond. Because as time builds and as you start to shift more and more, you are going to get to the place you want to go. You are. You are. I promise you. But you gotta let go of the timeline and the control. You just do your part. You show up and you start making the small changes, and the big changes will follow. And it's small changes over time. And there is going to be some back and forth, and that is normal. That is important in this journey to lose weight for good. Because you aren't losing weight to get into the dress for the wedding. Maybe you are. Maybe you are. But don't you want to lose that weight for good? And I don't really think this is for you if you're only trying to lose weight for a wedding and it's a quick fix. Because that's not a fix, real. Yes. We've all been there. We've all been there. I've got a wedding in 2 weeks that I'm going to that I bought a dress in a size that I have not seen since maybe middle school. And I was like, oh, if I gain even 5 pounds, this dress may not work for me, but the other dress was just too big in the chest and whatever. So I am very much like, okay, this is not the time to wobble. This is the time to stay very much steady Eddie on the path. And I'm not trying to lose weight necessarily, but I'm also like, okay, our fluctuations need to stay maybe on this side of that. And there are times for that. There are. But this, what we are working on together is for the long haul. This is not like, okay, go balls to the walls and get that weight off so you can, be in that mother of the bride dress or that bridesmaid's dress or just the dress to wear to the wedding. This is not what we are doing here. We are doing the long game. And this is how you start the long game successfully. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But when you're leaving what doesn't, sit with your body and figure out why that doesn't resonate and find what does. And I'd love to know if you want to leave a comment. Let me know, how does this resonate for you? Do you think this is something you could do? And if not, why not? I'd love that feedback too. So if this is something that came across your feed or somebody shared it with you and you haven't subscribed, please do, because I plan to put lots of content out here for this, and it just makes me feel really good knowing somebody's watching it, or at least they know it's coming. So thanks so much and have a great day. You've got this.